You're listening to episode 260, Focus Hacks for Accelerated Manifestation. I'm Jim Kellner, comedy hypnotist. Victoria Gallagher is the host of the Power of Your Mind podcast, which you are listening to right now. She's also the #1 best-selling author of The Practical Law of Attraction, Ultimate Weight Loss Power, How to Manifest Your Soulmate, and the founder of HipTalk.com and HypnoCloud Apps, the premier online destination for hypnosis recordings. With over 500 recordings to choose from, HypnoCloud provides solutions for everyone, for people from all walks of life, guided meditations, affirmations, and hypnotherapy to help with the law of attraction, manifestation, business success, anxiety, sleep issues, and more. So be sure to download it today from the app stores. The goal of this show is to inspire you to dream big and live your best life, as every week we discuss how to use manifesting, affirmations, meditation, and hypnosis to help people create the life of their dreams. So if you're ready to start manifesting your best life, join us and let us help you to tap into the power of your mind. Hello, Victoria.
Hello, Jim. How are you?
Good. I got the title in the wrong spot today.
That's okay.
Everybody caught on.
That's okay. We're being flexible. We're continuing to practice our flexibility from last week's episode.
That's right. And if you don't know what we're talking about, that means you missed an episode. So you need to go back and check it out.
Yes, that was episode 259 on how flexibility can help you to manifest.
That's right. And today we're talking about manifesting hacks. I know hacks, everybody loves hacks, cooking hacks, lifestyle hacks, all that stuff. So we're going to talk about hacks for accelerated manifestation. So I'm pretty excited to hear about that. Can you tell us how focus plays a part in the manifestation process?
Yeah. So we're talking about focus hacks for accelerated manifestation. And I love this topic so much. Yeah. I could literally talk about focus all day long because it is like such a key role in manifesting because, it's all about that directed energy, our directed thoughts, directing and focusing our thoughts toward a, very, very clear, powerful outcome. And so when you have that strong focus, what it does is it enables you to keep a high vibration. Like you could be focusing and darting your energy all over the place. 1 minute you're happy, 1 minute you're sad, 1 minute you're frustrated, 1 minute you're doubt, 1 minute you're in fear, 1 minute you're confident, whatever it is. And that's not focus. So when you allow yourself to focus your energy, focus your thoughts, focus your belief, you are going to have much, much more success with being able to attract and manifest your desire. You're going to take those inspired actions. You're going to feel better, and things are just going to happen for you so much faster, so much more effective. It is like probably one of the most important things you can do. It seems obvious to me, but it really is like maybe for you out there that, if you've been having a hard time, like this is the key thing right here that we're talking about today. And we're going to tell you how to do it.
Fantastic. And I do find that the more focused I am on what I want, the more I get it, right? Or what I don't want, either way.
It works both ways, and I should have mentioned that actually, because so many of us, we're focused most of the time, believe it or not, we spend time focused on what we don't want because we're complaining about what we don't like. And, I actually had a client had a realization. I love it when, clients just have their own realizations throughout the week. And he realized that he was doing a lot of complaining. And it was like, so we just, we did a little exercise on it and gave him a little homework around it. And done. Is like, I'm through with complaining. It's getting me nowhere. And so, it's really cool when people realize the power of directing your thoughts toward a very specific goal on what you do want. That just gives it all the power. So you're choosing, like, what am I going to give my power to? Am I going to give my power to the things that I want, or the things that I don't want? Because if you're focusing on it, if you're complaining about it, if you're judging it, if you're observing it, if you're obsessing about it, if you're attaching to it, whatever it is, that's what you're manifesting.
Bummer.
That's the good news, though. It's the good.
It's true.
The good.
Right.
It's actually the good news if you really think about it, because it's like, yeah, you might realize now, some of you out there, like, oh, I have been, thinking about this darn, possible recession. I've been thinking about, the how whatever, I've been thinking about how lonely I am. I'm thinking about how poor I am. I'm thinking about how this car sucks, or this house sucks, or this sucks, or that sucks, or these people suck. Everyone sucks, social media sucks,
Right.
but all of it, you know what? And you have the ability to think in a new way, to change your perspective, and focus on things that, it all those things might be true. All the things that are happening, they might be true.
Right.
There's a difference, though, between something being true and just accepting the fact that that is true, and maybe you can't change the facts. If you can't change, I can't change the fact that my next door neighbors decided today's the day that their landscapers are going to come. So I'm really hoping that doesn't pick up in the microphone. But if you focus on the things that you cannot change, that's just a recipe for complete emotional turmoil.
Yeah.
So you have to turn, you have to think about what you want. What do you, how are you going to live in the midst of the things that are happening around you that you don't like?
Well, speaking of the things around us that we don't like, what are some of the common distractions and obstacles that can hinder our focus during the manifestation process? Because there's a lot, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so it's everywhere. Distractions are everywhere. We can just get distracted by social media. I think that's probably one of the biggest distractions. Is social media, TV, watching the news. All those things can really get in the way of us being able to concentrate and focus. And, so it's the external things. It could be the noisy neighbors. It could be the weather can be a distraction. If you're hyper focused on, like, how much it's raining out, or how much it's snowing out, or whatever. I mean, there's just, like, so many external things can be a focus. But we're also, and mostly, we're distracted by our internal distractions, our negative thinking. I can't do it. The negative beliefs, the limiting beliefs, the frustrations, the sadness, the upsets, the disappointments, the anything that's just disturbing our calm and peace and ability to focus. That's going to get in the way. And finally, like, the last distraction, I mean, there's many different distractions, but the last one I want to mention is just not having clear, well-defined outcomes and goals for ourselves, not having any kind of intention. And that's the thing that it really kind of drives me batty, when people don't have, like, an intention for what they, clear intention for what they want, because, but then they'll complain that they're not getting
Right, right.
You know, they're not getting where they want to be. But it's like when you don't have a clear, well-defined intention for yourself or a goal, like that's like, you know, where you're going, you are just going to be subject to just allowing all the things you're just like a weed blowing in the wind. And you're just getting blown around by all the things that are happening to you. And it's kind of a victim mentality in a way. So
Mhm.
we've got to establish some clear goals and intentions. Otherwise, it's going to be super difficult to focus on getting anywhere.
And if you're not clear, you're not going to know if you're manifesting, work the way you wanted it to or not, right? I
Right,
mean,
exactly.
uh, and the thing too is, because this can be a difficult challenge, and one of the things that I tell clients is just guess. If you don't, if you don't know what it is, just guess. What's just something to aim for? Because here's the thing: like you could always change your mind later. You can, and maybe once you get there, there'll be something else. There probably will be something else, but just having some kind of a path is gonna help you so much more than just kind of doing that wandering around and getting bumped around, right?
Yeah. Well, there's no quicker way to finding the right path than to getting on the wrong path. And there isn't really, to me,
Oh, good
there's not
point.
even,
Yeah,
once you get on the wrong path, it's like, oh, whoops, I realize I'm kind of
right.
going the wrong way.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Yep.
yeah, so it's better to have some momentum, some intention, uh than just kind of like waiting around to sort of figure it out, because you're afraid to make a commitment. You got to
You
commit.
know, and I actually had this experience because I thought that I wanted to be an actor, like really bad. I really wanted to be an actor. And
Hmm.
as I was working towards an actor and I started doing other things, it finally occurred to me that really there came a point where I didn't want to read other people's words anymore. I didn't want to say other people's words. And so, but everything that I was doing to become an actor actually helps me in being a speaker and entertainer. So it wasn't wasted time. So you still get value most of the time out of whatever you're working towards.
Totally agree. And it's funny that you wanted to be an actor, because I wanted to be a singer. And I spent a good part of my young adulthood striving for that. And I have zero regrets about striving for that, because, everything that I did to help improve my voice went into improving my voice to make these amazing hypnosis recordings. And I happen
Right.
to, I happen to, I believe, have an above average voice and ability to create recordings. And so
Yeah.
every
So it
little
wasn't.
thing you do ultimately does help, get you to the next level and expands your awareness.
Yep. Absolutely. Except sitting around watching Netflix all night. So,
True. Yeah.
so work towards something. Work towards something, and you'll have a lot more luck. So, how can we create I think one of the things that can get in the way is our environment. So, how can we create a focused environment to support all of our manifesting efforts?
Yeah. So you've heard of, the expression, you're a product of your environment. And
Totally. Yeah.
so I think that it's just even not even just in your own house, but just your environment is what created you at this level, in
Right.
so many
Right.
different ways. The environment of the people that you associate with, the people who raised you, the people that you go to school with, whoever you are surrounded with. I mean, like they also say that you're like the sum of your five closest friends.
Yeah.
And so you want to actually really think about, do you have an environment socially that supports your manifestation efforts? But then when you get into, your own place, what is your place like? Does your place support focused attention? Do you have time set aside for, where you can set aside distractions? Do you have a nice, quiet, clutter-free space? And, there are some people that work better, I'm going to say, in an unorganized, totally cluttered environment. I go back and forth personally. I prefer to have a very nice, neat, tidy, uncluttered desk. But when I'm in the middle of creating something, I've got books all around me. I've got notebooks, notepads all around me, stickies. I've got all kinds of things. And I have to have it just like that until I'm done with the project. But, so it just kind of, depends on you. But do you have a routine or a ritual where you can spend quiet focus time? I think that's really one of the first things that you need to have, is really to consider your environment, your space, your time for focus. You got to carve out focus time, because you're not necessarily going to be focused 100% of the time. It's almost impossible. We have time where our mind's just kind of wandering. That's where we're capturing new creative ideas and insights and things like that. So, just we have to create that focused environment that supports our manifesting efforts.
A couple of things too. Yeah, it can be tough to focus for long periods of time. And that's why, with the Pomodoro, I got to put a timer on my phone where I say, hey, Siri, set a timer for 25 minutes. And this is boom. This is what I'm focusing on for this 25 minutes, this 30 minutes. And it's amazing how much you can get done in like a 4 or 5 hour period, where you used to spend all day and couldn't get anything done, which was my story.
It's so true. It's so true. Yeah, there's a lot of great techniques for focusing, and the Pomodoros is definitely one of my favorites. It's the thing that I have to do. Now, sometimes even just committing to doing those Pomodoros, and we'll talk about, actually, I want to actually, for new listeners, people who haven't ever heard me explain how to do them before, I want to talk about that in a minute. Because, just deciding, I'm going to do my Pomodoros today, how many sets are you going to do, that kind of thing, and then actually carving out that time to actually do them, there's just a technique in and of itself. But there's so many different techniques. Practicing your mindfulness meditation every day, that's going to really help you. That in and of itself is the exercise of focus, because you're sitting there to focus on a mantra, and then a thought's going to come in, and you wave that thought away, and then you focus on your mantra again, and then a thought's going to come in, and you wave that thought away, and then you focus on your mantra again, and then another. And it's it's during this mindfulness meditation where you're just focusing on one thing, whatever it is, a rock in your hand, a word, your breath, whatever you're meditating on, that's going to allow you, that's the exercise of focusing. And when you do that during the 20-30 minutes that you do that in your morning, you're setting yourself up for the rest of the day, when you hear the thought, oh, what's on Facebook? Oh, what's going on in the news? Oh, I need to get up and, pet my cats. Oh, whatever it is, it's like, no, we're right. We're right here. And, just having that discipline. I think also some breathing exercises can help. There's just so, having the goal, visualizing yourself actually completing whatever it is, the task, the goal, the routine that you want. All of these are all really, really great techniques.
Well, what are some more things? One of the things that I found that I kind of brought back was my daily list that I used to carry around when I first started changing my life. So I made a list of the things I wanted to do every day.
Yeah.
And as there's all these apps out for it now, but I just don't, they don't work as well for me. I need this piece of paper, and I can pull it out several times a day. Oh, that's right. I was gonna, whatever, I was gonna do some yoga today. I was gonna, read this book for a little while. And so I think that's really helps you to get back to that focus on what's really important instead of like being kind of bounced around like that. Helps a lot. Helps me.
Yeah, I
Um,
totally agree with that. As many things as my life is run by apps with, I use an app for my meditations. I use an app to keep track of my exercise. I use an app to keep track of all the food I eat. I use an app for all the calorie burning. So many apps, right? I mean,
so many apps.
I'm so,
Right.
so many apps.
Exactly.
But when it but when it comes to the to-dos, I do actually find the sticky note
Mm,
is probably one of the best hacks I've ever come across. And a coach actually taught me this because
mm,
I was complaining about the fact that I make these gargantuous to-do lists that I never complete, 10 things on
mhm.
the to-do list,
Yeah.
and 10 things that probably should take a month to do, I'm expecting myself to do in a day.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to develop a website, write a book, that kind of thing.
All that stuff today. And then you feel depressed because you didn't achieve your goal.
Exactly. So actually, what I learned is to create this little, all of everything you want to complete for the day, put the top 3 things on a sticky note. And then, I mean, you can definitely complete more than that, but at least just put the top 3 things on that sticky note. So I totally want to vouch for that. Writing it down with your actual hand and your actual pen and on an actual piece of paper.
Yeah,
Really, there's something about that, even in this day and age when we have all this technology, there is just something about that.
I agree. I agree. So, I mean, you kind of talk about it with when we're doing meditation and stuff, but maybe to get more directed on breathing, why do breathing techniques have such a significant impact on focus and mental clarity?
Well, not only during the process of breathing, where, we're using our breath as the focus, as the thing that we're focused, breathing, whether we're counting the number of breaths, whether we're just focusing on the sensation of the breathing itself, all of these things are gearing us to focus on this one thing to the exclusion of everything else. And, but not only does it do that mentally, but physically, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which creates relaxation and reduces stress, which is like one of the whole reasons why we do those deep breathing is to reduce stress and to relax. And when we are in a more relaxed, less stressed state, our minds are just able to focus. It just creates an environment in your mind that, allows us to be more present, to be able to concentrate, to have that mental clarity. And it also is doing another thing on a physical level, which is it's increasing the oxygen flow to your brain. So when you're getting more oxygen into your brain is working better and it's functioning that it's creating that more functional, focused mindset.
So, what are some other effective breathing techniques that can help to improve focus and concentration?
So yeah, there's a number of breathing techniques. I started to almost talk about the 4-7-8. So a lot of the breathing techniques kind of have to do with either just focusing on sensations, like I had mentioned, just like thinking about like just the sensations without even any contrived number counting at all. You can just do like a Vipassana insight meditation, where you're just focusing on, oh, how's the breathing feeling as it's coming into my nose? Where am I feeling it? And really just keeping your attention on the actual sensations that you're feeling. How is it feeling in my chest area? How's it feeling in my belly? Like all the places that are impacted by your breathing. But another way that breathing is so, so powerful for focus is that, when you're counting, you're not thinking about anything else. You're just thinking about the numbers that you're counting. So there's 4, 7, 8, where you're breathing in for a count of 4, you're holding it for a count of 7, and you're letting it out for a count of 8. And that in and of itself, is really helping to, create and evoke that relaxation response. Box breathing is another one where it's all 4s. One of my favorite, because my favorite number is number 4. And so, in that, you're inhaling for 4, you're holding for 4, you're exhaling for 4, and then you're holding at the bottom for 4 before you inhale again. And again, just the process of the counting, but also the fact that it's calming down the nervous system is helping you to enhance your focus. And then you have alternate nostril breathing, which is where you're breathing just through one nostril at a time and exhaling through the other nostril. And this alternate nostril breathing, that is helping to balance the left and the right hemispheres, which when you do that also improves concentration. Yep, you got it. Yeah, so it's like you put, close one nostril, breathe in through the left, and then close the other nostril, breathe out through the right, and then breathe in through the right, and then close the right, and then breathe out through the left, breathe in through the left, and then, anyway. So,
and it takes focus because you got to be thinking of,
oh my God, so much focus, extreme level of focus.
Yeah. Just getting that down. So good stuff. So you talked a bit about Pomodoro earlier. Did you want to give maybe a longer version of that, like the full meal deal for people?
Yeah, absolutely. So Pomodoro is super powerful technique. And what it is you're breaking down your work into these intervals called Pomodoros, which are 25 minutes. Now, you can actually, if you wanted to make them 26 minutes or 21 minutes, whatever it is for you, but it's, the way it's been originally taught is 25 and 5. So it's 25 minutes of complete focused attention on whatever it is, whatever you've intended to do, followed by a break. And you have to do this. You have to take these breaks. Like you can't just sit there and wait and have your Pomodoro timer go off and say, "Oh, I'm going to keep working on this." That you
defeats the purpose, and it's so hard sometimes.
Yes, and I've done that before. It's not like I haven't done that, but so anyway, you'll do that, and then you'll do that for 4 consecutive rounds. So it's 25, and then get up and walk around, break the state, and just do something else for 5 minutes. Then you sit down, and you're like, focus, 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 and you're just focused on this one activity, not checking your Facebook, not checking your phone, not checking text messages, not doing anything else. And you would be surprised how much stuff you can get done in 25 focused minutes when you're not doing anything else. It is crazy. And then after, you get to reward yourself after doing this for 4 rounds. You get a longer break of like 30 minutes. And, so the 30 minutes, that's when I'll maybe take a break I'll go around the block or so, or I'll, have lunch, or maybe that's the time that I can go and check my emails or check social media or do whatever, but you're just completely, and then you go back to it. And on the best possible, most focused day, I've done 4 sets of these.
Ooh.
Yeah. And that's because it's 2 hours, then a half an hour, and then 2 hours and another half hour, 2 hours. So that is you are seriously working, 8 real hours, and you just get so much stuff done. And, it just really what it does is, because you are taking these breaks, mandatory breaks, you're totally preventing yourself from going into burnout. And, haven't you ever noticed how, like you're focusing on something for 45 minutes or something like that. And it's like, I just can't do this anymore.
Yeah. Now it's time to go to the beach or something, or watch Netflix.
Right? Exactly. But you're just going to get so much more done when you make yourself take those mandatory breaks. So I
Yeah.
love Pomodoros. I teach that to all my clients, and the clients that have not ever, used them before, when they start using them, it's like, wow, where has this been my whole life?
Yeah. Even folks with ADHD, I mean, you can set the timer for 15 minutes if you need to, or I mean, it really, I find it so effective. I mean, just same here, everybody I've ever mentioned it to, they start using it, and it's transformative. It really is.
It is. It absolutely is. It'll do these, it'll change your life. And if you don't do them, then, well, you'll learn how to do them. I'm creating a new manifestation course. It's going to be like a 12-week program. I think it's like going to be 12 weeks. I mean, I've been writing all the modules lately, and 12 weeks just seems a little too long, but I can't fit it all into like 8 weeks. I just
Gotcha.
can't, but it's going to be a fantastic, amazing, it's the big manifestation course that I've always wanted to create. And
Cool.
been using a lot of Pomodoros to create that, but you'll learn about Pomodoros in that course too.
Excellent. We talk about visualization quite a bit. I'm assuming that can help this process as well.
Oh,
One of the things that
yeah.
can
I
help.
mean,
What the heck?
visualizing is going to help you to train your brain, concentrate on your intentions. It's going to actually help you to sharpen your focus, because
Mhm.
when you create images in your mind, it's just increasing your focus. And it's also going to, when you visualize the outcome, it's just, you see yourself with it done, and that's going to increase that confidence, and that's going to increase that belief in your ability.
And I got to tell you too. I learned this back in. There's been some studies done, but also when I was doing massage therapy. If you've got an injured arm or something like that, if you'll just visualize that you're working it, moving it around and stuff, you'll actually get a physiological response. It's amazing.
Oh,
So,
absolutely. And yes, it's similar. I've been writing a lot about, in part of my course research, been, doing a lot of, work about the expectation and placebo effect. So
mm,
I'm calling it the expectation effect, but it's, the placebo effect. It's just been all these things, and visualization is can help, with this, with what it can help you to expect the best. It can help you to expect better, results for yourself. But I mean, there's actually been these crazy studies where like people went under surgery, but they didn't actually they didn't actually do the surgery. They just put them out and
mm.
they told them they had the
Yeah, right.
surgery. And
Yeah.
then they were able, like, it was like a fake knee surgery they did. And so what you expect actually has a tremendous impact on our actions, and what we actually believe we can do is what we're actually going to take action on. So visualizing yourself with the end result, visualizing yourself having all this focus and going through your day, it's just going to create amazing outcomes.
So how can goal setting and intention setting boost our focus during the manifestation process?
Well, I love goal setting, because, it's really about like that, giving you that roadmap, that path, and also just breaking it down. Like, I've got a goal of, losing 50 pounds or whatever. That seems very overwhelming. But when you break it down and you say, okay, well, I'm gonna lose, 5 pounds this month, and you have much more chance of achieving it, because it's like these little goals. And then you can even say, okay, well, what would I need to do exactly in order to achieve that? So you break your big goals down into small goals, and then you break your small goals down into action steps. And those action steps, you can focus on yourself taking those action steps are what you do your Pomodoros on. You take those action steps and you say, okay, today is the day that I'm going to take these actions and I'm going to focus for 25 minutes on this action. And even if you don't know what to do to take those actions, then it's all about, okay, well, during my focus time, I'm going to find out what I need to do. I'm going to do the research. I'm going to call this guy or that gal. I'm going to read a book about it. I'm going to do something. I'm going to watch a YouTube video about it, whatever it is, just as long as you don't start watching other videos.
Right.
And honestly, there's nothing that you can't do. There's nothing that you can't achieve. When you just think of it in terms of like, I'm going to set a goal. Has somebody else achieved this? Oh, somebody else has achieved it. Well, how did they achieve it? And then you can break it down, and then you can create the actions, and then you can focus your time and energy on it. And voila, you will achieve anything.
That's great. It is amazing how you really can, when you start setting those intentions and start working towards things. I think for a lot of people, it's self-discipline gets in the way, because they want to look at Facebook, they want to look at the YouTube videos and stuff. So how can we create more self-discipline so that we can follow through with our goals?
I know. And I don't even know what to tell you on that one, because no, honestly, because like I was born with self-discipline. Honestly,
Yeah.
like I was born with it. So it's really difficult for me sometimes to just, because it wasn't one of my hurdles in life that I had to figure out how to overcome. That's like my middle name. Like when I get my mind
I can see
set on
that.
something,
Yeah.
huh?
I can see that. I think people can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I will say I have tried to figure out how to bottle this potion up that I have and share it with other people. And what I think it really kind of comes down to, what I feel like I do naturally, is like when I don't have the discipline for something, like if there is something that I, occasionally I'll stumble upon something that I don't have the discipline to do. Then what I'll do is I will just break it down into the smallest, tiniest little thing that I can do that says I've done it, basically.
Yeah.
Because that is self-discipline in a lot of ways is related to self-confidence. And so every time you check something off that you've done, that builds a little bit of self-confidence, and then you're going to have the discipline to do it again and again and again and again. The other thing that I do, that I know I do, and I probably do this maybe even more than I should, is delay gratification and then reward yourself. And the problem is like for me, I always have that dangling carrot out there. Like I rarely take the reward. I always think that there's a reward, but I rarely take the reward. I mean, like I've told myself that after this has happened, I'm going to go get a massage. I actually have certificates sitting in my drawer for free massages, like things that I've earned, that I won, things like that. And I don't do it. But it's always like, I told myself when I gave the keynote, after I got done with that, I was going to come back and get the massage. And I didn't do it. So so for me, there's like, even though like my subconscious mind has not caught on yet that I never actually do reward myself, there is always that sense of like, I'm going to get, sometimes it's just like, I can't get up and get a cup of coffee though, until I finish this task. Sometimes it's like I can't get up and do other things, but that's a little too personal. But another thing is really just getting the support, and getting yourself an accountability partner can also be another way to establish that self-discipline. Also, of course, hypnosis is wonderful for establishing self-discipline because it's gonna you will visualize yourself in the hypnosis, and you'll say things to yourself in the hypnosis that are gonna program your subconscious mind to just become more like Victoria when it comes to
Right.
self-discipline. Not saying you necessarily want to become like Victoria in all areas of your life, but definitely more people in the area of self-discipline could use a little Victoria. And so if you want more self-discipline, I highly recommend that you download my app, whether you're listening to this episode when it's Believe, or you're listening to this episode when it's HypnoCloud. One of those two, they'll both have the session in there. And if Believe is out, trust me, believe me, you want Believe. So that'll help you to establish that self-discipline, to have the focus, and the focus is going to help you to manifest. And, and it's just going to be one happy cycle of believing in yourself and being focused and manifesting. And manifesting is going to help you to oh, I remember how I did that. I focused and I achieved. And, once you get into that cycle and that rhythm, you're going to just keep doing it.
A lot of great stuff. Thanks, Victoria.
Yes. Thank you, Jim. And thank you, audience, for tuning into the Power of Your Mind podcast. Hope you found today's episode informative, inspiring. Please share this podcast with your friends, your family. Don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review. Tune in next week for another inspiring episode. And until then, keep using the power of your mind to reach your goals and live your best life of abundance and joy.